It's easy to see why Kanye West and Jay-Z would be such good friends. They have extremely similar careers, lifestyles, and even personalities. What might be harder to see is why exactly things seem to have gone so sour lately. After tons of collab albums, features, and beats produced by Kanye or Jay, and even some mentoring, they should be thick as thieves. Unfortunately, this isn't really how it worked out. To figure out how things went down, we're gonna have to go back to the beginning, starting with how Kanye got established as a solo artist in the first place. For a long time, the Chi-Town native was, as he said on his first album, locked in a dark room, making 3 beats a day for 3 summers. He's not exaggerating. Anyone who said that Kanye is a better producer than he is a rapper has a kernel of truth in their statement, whether they know it or not. Ye's been producing since the 90s for a rapper called D-Dot. For a while, it seemed like D-Dot had pretty much exclusive rights to Kanye's talent. That is, until he met Jay-Z. Tell Him Why You Mad was really the album that did it. While it was a D-Dot solo album in name, Kanye was essentially a ghost producer. He was putting in the work behind the scenes, while D-Dot, a bigger name at that time, got to walk away with all the glory. This '99 album featured heavyweights of rap at the time, including Eminem, Busta Rhymes, Raekwon of Wu-Tang Clan fame, and Puff Daddy. But it also included a man who had already proven himself before, only to go down in hip-hop history with his next album. This man is Jay-Z, who saw what Ye had produced and knew he had to get him on a little album you may have heard of, The Blueprint. The Blueprint is commonly talked about as one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time, and it's in everyone's top 5 Jay-Z albums list. This isn't to detract from what Jay-Z did on the album, because it's undisputed that the dude absolutely snapped on it. But without Kanye's beats, many of which no one had heard anything like before, the album might not have done as well. The hard-hitting bass, the complex arrangements, and tight drums, in addition to the chipmunk soul samples that will become Kanye's trademark for the next few albums and into the foreseeable future, made this one of the most groundbreaking records in the game. After this, he blew up as a producer, pretty much being the most sought-after dude at Rockefeller Records. He did beats for Ludacris, Alicia Keys, a ton of songs off of Jay-Z's major hit, The Black Album, and countless others. However, this wasn't exactly the best time for Kanye. You see, he always wanted to be a rapper. He wanted to be out there in the limelight. Jay-Z, Kanye's whole team, and all the execs at the label weren't sure about it though. He never got involved in gang life, he didn't have any real street cred, and everyone kind of just saw him as the kid rocking clothes from the Gap, wearing backpacks everywhere he went. Behind the scenes, with access to some state-of-the-art studios, he had been recording his own demos and hoped that other labels might pick him up. This is probably the start of the beef. One of his best friends and mentors didn't even believe in him, the guy who really put him on. Jay must have realized he was doing Ye dirty because eventually, out of fear of losing him, he let him have at it. Kanye was in a horrific car crash before the release of his album, meaning that now he had a story. He rapped the song with his jaw wired shut, released The College Dropout in 2004, and the rest is history. He was an overnight sensation, proving Jay wrong. This wasn't the only thing that was gonna get under Jay's skin, having him feel some type of way though. While Jay-Z's best few albums up to this point were behind him and he wasn't sure how to reinvent himself, Kanye released back-to-back bangers, growing by leaps and bounds with every album, from Late Registration to 808s and Heartbreak. On Graduation, a few songs in specific stand out like Big Brother, where Ye talks about the friendship in a less than flattering light. That's where it gets tricky because lyrics like, "I told Jay I did a song with Coldplay, next thing I know he got a song with Coldplay. Back in my head I'm like, damn, no way," are twisted up. In reality, Jay introduced Coldplay to Kanye. In 2009, the infamous VMAs accident happened. At the Video Music Awards, Taylor Swift won the award for the category of Best Music Video. That was also the year Beyonce's song Single Ladies was released.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
As a result, Kanye felt the need to get up and defend the honor of his big brother's wife. He got up on stage, snatched the mic, and said, "I'm gonna let you finish in a minute, but Beyonce had one of the best music videos of all time." The camera then pans to Beyonce and she understandably looks mortified. This had a big hand in destroying Kanye's public image, and a lot of music industry completely turned on him, coming out publicly to support Taylor Swift, who was fresh onto the scene at this point. This took a huge toll on the relationship between Kanye and Jay going forward, especially now that Beyonce was involved in his shenanigans. Now, Jay knew that he might have to keep his distance if he didn't want to be roped into the image that Kanye was building, whether he was doing it on purpose or not. In 2011, we get a whole album built out of the love Kanye had for his big brother, Watch the Throne. This album was huge. A monumental collab between Jay-Z and Ye that would get bumped for years to come. It seemed like any bad blood it might have been brewing was done with. The rivalry that was developing between them had been kept in check, and they had combined as an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. But there was still the tour. The couple spent almost a whole year on the road together, and that almost always results in some kind of tension. They argued about a sequel. Kanye ignored the release of Magna Carta Holy Grail in 2013, and during a concert, he said during a show that he has love for Hov, but I ain't f***ing with that suit and tie, referring to the Justin Timberlake Jay-Z collab track.
And I got love with Hov, but I ain't f***ing with that suit and tie.
So things were getting a little salty, if you ask me. In 2014, Jay-Z and Beyonce failed to be seen at Kanye and Kim Kardashian's wedding. That being said, it was revealed later that this happened because of Jay's own problems with Beyonce. While Kanye didn't seem too bothered, he revealed later on in 2018 that it really took a toll on the friendship. That only makes sense, right? You don't just miss the wedding of your best friend if you don't have any good reason, but at the same time, it's still going to do irreparable damage to a friendship, so... At the beginning of 2016, The Life of Pablo dropped. This album is among the favorites for a lot of Kanye fans, even if it took some time to grow on them. The gospel samples, the airy, dreamy, grand sound profile had critics fawning over the album. Jay-Z was happy too, since Kanye decided that he was going to release it solely on Tidal, a streaming service that Jay had partnered with. Unfortunately for Jay and the friendship, Kanye made an unprecedented move and basically dropped a patch of the album like it was an unfinished video game. He remixed and remastered and generally reconfigured a lot of the tracks, in addition to adding new ones. This version of the album went to Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play Music. He waited a little while to do this, at least long enough for 250 million streams to go through on Tidal in 10 days, making Tidal the most downloaded app on the App Store. After this, Jay kind of blew up and stopped talking to Ye. This was a huge blow to his business and a breach of his trust. Now, it's not just personal, right? Because Ye went and got money involved because he thought it would be a better move for him. Also in 2016, Kanye was officially diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which he was open about in the media. The mental illness usually manifests in spurts of crippling depression or high-flying manic episodes. Meanwhile, Kim was robbed in Paris in 2016 while all of the Tidal drama was unfolding, and the couple took the trauma very hard. Kanye ran off stage when he got the news, and Jay-Z called him to ask how he was rather than visiting, which Ye made public while in concert, saying, "Don't call me after the robbery and say how you feeling. You want to know how I'm feeling? Come by the house." After this and a few more rants and walking out of shows, he was hospitalized for his mental health. This was almost definitely because of the robbery. To make matters worse, a little bit later, Kanye revealed that now Jay was messing with his money, holding back about $3 million worth of streaming revenue from the release of The Life of Pablo on Tidal. While it's a pretty shady thing to do, especially when Kanye was struggling with so much, it does kind of even things out, for this chapter at least. In 2018, things had pretty much dropped off as Kanye and Jay revealed on Charlemagne and Letterman interviews respectively. They still text, they're still brothers, but they don't see each other, really. It's complicated at this point. That is until later that year, when Ye appeared on Saturday Night Live in a red MAGA hat and started voicing support for Trump on Twitter. After this, Jay and Beyonce said that neither of them would associate with him anymore. In fact, during this time, a whole lot of the rap community completely distanced themselves from Kanye. The general public also started to perceive Ye as mentally ill, having gone completely off the rails as a result of the robbery, problems with Kim, and just life in general. While we don't know where things are going from here, we do know that Jay-Z and Kanye met and shared a word on a video in 2020 at Puff Daddy's 50th birthday party. We hope that's a step towards squashing the beef, but no one can say for sure. Do y'all think they should link up and work things out? Is Kanye too far gone for them to even work things out anyway? And more importantly, when are we getting Watch the Throne 2? Right? Is this falling out between brothers even justified? Let us know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, keep it Rizzle.